Hello. Sarojini, are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning. So Vivek had a office emergency and he's unable to join, but he's shared his credentials so that we can go ahead. We'll just wait for the others to join. I think Prasad and Savita are also on the other call. They'll connect back.
Okay. And my apologies, Krishna, for the last time. I realized after listening to the recording that you guys were waiting on me for some time. I think there was some confusion between me and Vivek, so sorry about that.
No problem. Did you go through the recording?
I did. I couldn't finish it last few minutes left, but mostly I went through it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just we'll start at 11, 3 more minutes. Give time for Savita to join.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can start. Is everybody able to go on video? Sajani, are you working, come listening?
No, totally listening.
Okay. Were you able to go through the previous sessions?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So Prasad sir has found enlightenment in the isolation. The beard is a sign. Savita, are you able to hear? I think Savita just joined.
Yeah. Murli, I got that. Now I'm able.
Okay, great. Shall we start?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay. We'll start by chanting Om and a few other chantings. You can repeat after me. Close your eyes. Om. Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
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 Guru Brahma,
Guru Brahma,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Devo,
Guru Deva,
Maheshwaraha,
Maheshwara,
Guru Sakshat,
Guru Sakshat,
Parabrahma,
Parabrahma,
Tasmai Shri
Tasmeshwari,
Gurave Namaha.
Guruve Namaha.
Dhyanamulam
Dhyanamoolam,
Guror Murtihi
Gurumurtihi,
Pujamulam
Pujamoolam,
Guror Padam
Gururpadam,
Mantramulam
Mantramoolam,
Guror Vakyam
Gururvakyam,
Mokshamulam
Mokshamoolam,
Guru Kripa
Guru Kripa,
Harihi Om
Hari Om,
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha,
Harihi Om.
Hari Om.
My pranams to all. Slowly open your eyes. Okay, so this is probably the last session on the offline, and if we're able to meet, online, and offline if we're able to meet soon, we'll have the last session in the Vivek's office. So what has been the today's examination? and Vivek and the others escaped. So today is the test of what's been happening. So what has been the learning so far? You need to, if you can just summarize based on your understanding, however you have understood it, what is the essence of spirituality for you so far? What has been the understanding so far through all these interactions in a few lines? Who do we start with? Anybody has it's already clear of the answer?
Yeah.
Savita.
No.
Oh. Okay, so we'll start with Savita.
No. No, I understood one thing. The self as an ego probably originates from the importance to ourselves, unnecessarily the importance we give to ourselves or our emotions or our happenings, unnecessary importance that is given. I feel that's one of the reasons of suffering. That's one thing I learned.
Okay.
Another thing I did learn is ego is what uh, stands in the way of, I won't call it enlightenment, but maybe progress.
Okay.
Uh, the life as it happens is something that is absolutely natural, but because of the need to control and stay in control, I think we lose focus on what we set out for initially itself. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that.
Mamta?
I think for me, couple of points. What I have learned from these sessions so far, even though it's hard to adopt it in daily lives. One is the acceptance of whatever comes your way. That's the best way to deal with it, and less troubles then if we are able to accept good or bad, whatever it is. And that is what is meant to be. And so that's one key point. Second key point is also to become the witness to what's happening and disassociate myself from the outcomes of what I do or
Okay.
outcomes of the karma. I think that was another key point that I have kind of picked up from these discussions. And that's also probably the path to get rid of this endless cycle of lives and birth, death and birth. So that was the second point that I have picked up. There are probably more, but these are two that's coming to my mind right now.
Okay. So this is the understanding about what the various topics that we've discussed.
Yeah.
But what is your conclusion about life and truth? That is what I want to know. So if we've understood, okay, the ego is the cause, and there are emotions, and this is how they happen. All that is fine. All that is still secondary.
Mhm.
What is your understanding about the truth, spiritual truth? Did you get the question?
Yeah, I got the question. I'm still trying to think how to respond to that, or rather, how to put it into words.
Okay.
The way I see it is, it's more of there is this. If I try to visualize it, it's more like there is a um, universal spirit, or I don't know what to call it, but we are eventually just one. and that is like we are part of a much larger single universal truth or single universal being, and that's how I see myself, or any being basically,
Okay.
and that's I see as the truth of the life.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Saujanya?
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I just understood that it's a journey. There is no outcome that I would get immediately because every time I would hit into reality of facts and life, I need to just look back and be conscious about what's happening around me and get back to the understanding of the one. Like I'm just a drop in the ocean,
Okay.
and I understand the difference of how the drop is in the ocean and it's all water at the end of the day.
Okay.
And it also gave me a lot of consciousness and mindful thinking
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what I'm doing, where I'm heading, or what exactly I'm looking forward for my life to be in.
Okay.
Because my journey is just giving me that conscious thought of what I'm doing is just the present,
Okay.
and there is no future and past to it. And
Okay.
as I say, that became my past also.
Okay.
So basically, I see this as a uh, recurring journey that keeps coming and going, and I have to just keep pulling myself to the presence of life and being conscious about what is happening is just for the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and everything will pass on. And there
Mm-hmm.
are bigger goals in life which I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to figure that out,
Okay.
or rather, I'm in the journey just to figure this out to see how it's going to turn out to be.
So in whatever you said, uh, almost everything made sense, except when you said I many times. So can you explain what is that I?
Uh,
So you
in
said
this, I'm
my
seeing,
journey, I think, I feel.
well, these are obviously expressions that I'm trying to express in my thought process. When
Who
I
is
say
trying to
I, um the person within me right now,
there's a person within you?
I mean, it's an experience, I would say, like, and
Okay.
the conscious effort that I'm looking at it as a life because
Okay.
every time I see it as a film that's going in front of my eyes, right? So
Yeah.
with that experience, I would say that's the I am talking about, the
Okay.
being which is around
Okay.
and experiencing it.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Prasad?
Hi. So what I get out of the limited sessions what I have attended and the limited time what I have given here, to be frank, I could not dedicate fully some time for me to go through this journey fully, but still the way I know what's really important here is the source of energy, or this is the source where we all can connect to, and it could be the purpose what we are here, and then is it like what we think we are doing right or wrong? No, is it beyond that, or is there anything like right or wrong? Those kind of answers somewhere I know that realization happened actually. That one realization for me is like in this universe, the purpose is something bigger. We may or we may not know, but uh, many things what we do, is it right or wrong? that
Okay.
that I went beyond that one actually. There is nothing something like right or wrong, and
Okay.
so we if we don't get a any time like we are going out of the path. If
Okay.
we realize that way, then immediately to there is a source where I can connect and draw the energy, draw the purpose. So that is where I saw this spirituality, like the whole, the essence of whole thing. That is how I understood.
Okay. So what is the next level then? What is that you want now?
I don't want anything actually. I went to that state where I can be like, so is there anything I want? No, I'm thinking more towards like no, more than what I want, like what I can give back to the society. That's where
Okay.
see one immediate thing. What is the fallout of these sessions is like. And also a lot of observations last 2 months. What is happening is, people are like focused more on giving than taking. So that is where actually it's triggering the actions. Okay, focus more on giving than like receiving. So
Okay.
the next thing is definitely focus on more of giving back to the nature, giving back to the society, giving focus on more on giving them.
Okay. Sure. Dina?
I, uh, so for me, I think one of the uh, realization, or probably from the after attending the sessions, so uh, I think the ego part has um, mainly subsided,
Okay.
and and the realization that, like, as Amta also said, that we are all one, and part of, I mean, the expression of the same universal truth.
Okay.
And also probably I'm better able to, accept my emotions better compared to um, how it was in the past.
Okay.
Acceptance of reality as it is,
Okay.
and letting go.
Has that made you more peaceful or more disturbed?
Yes, it's made me much more peaceful now. Like,
Okay.
I realized that I was holding on to a lot of things from the past and
Okay.
was not able to let go. So slowly, I mean, after attending all these sessions, I'm at a much more peaceful and calmer state.
Okay. Very good.
And but one thing I still feel that I need time to probably, implement is, even though we say, I mean, you say that the self is nothing but pure consciousness, but when we interact with the outside world, the still the I the it's generally the we tend to react from the perspective of the individual, not the, I mean, not from a standpoint of pure consciousness. Like, it
Okay.
generally we tend to overreact or get hurt. So yeah,
Okay.
I think I need some more time to, for that to sink in.
Okay. Very good. So very happy with all your answers. So this we will just again uh, sort of go back to the essential teachings of, be it Bhagavad Gita, or so we've been taking Bhagavad Gita as a reference text, but because Bhagavad Gita itself is the summary of all the of Upanishads and Vedanta, and trying to again further summarize the Bhagavad Gita in a more simpler way through various we've tried to explore the various aspects of human being, karma, then the human mind, then life in general, then what is supreme reality, and try to find a balance between all of this. Okay, so that we no longer experience the stress of life. Otherwise, life can be quite stressful and disturbing. Each day can be heavy. So the only bottom line is, are you going through each day by day light as a feather or heavy as a stone? Okay? Are you like a flower or are you like a stone? When I say are you, I mean the state of mind. Is the heart heavy as a stone or is it like a flower? Regardless of what you do, you might do something or you might not do something. This is no conditions apply. Okay, and no expectation from the other. Without action, without expectation, your natural state, is it of a heavy as a stone or light as a feather? So what is it right now?
Still
Yeah, it
bit
sounds
heavy.
like a feather, to be
Like a
very
feather.
honest.
So the teachings of Atma Gnana make the heart and mind lighter and lighter, lighter. It's not a gaining process. It's not accumulating more. It's becoming more and more light to a point when you become so weightless, and then you can walk on water. Have you heard of this thing called Jesus walked on water? You know what it means? Savita, you're laughing.
I think it's more to do with how you uh, feel internally rather than literal in not in the literal sense. That's what I understand.
Yeah. The water is the turbulent ocean, the water of life. It's a river of life. It keeps on moving and changing. Okay, life waits for nobody. Okay, if you don't catch up, you'll be left behind. So it keeps moving, and you can be stuck within it. Wherein with the push and pull, you can also be moved, or you can walk over it. Okay, so the walking over it is the enlightened life, where you're in the same water, but you are able to walk on it, meaning not experience the turbulences. The external ups and downs do not create an internal up and down. Understand? Only
Understood.
when
How practical is that?
we'll
How?
come to that.
Yeah.
That's the whole class about. That the class is about bringing that to practicality. Otherwise, it's useless. And how it's brought to practicality is first by recognizing that people have attained it. And especially in this country, we have thousands of people who have awakened to that inner state of lightness and have walked on water, have sailed through life. And the Bhagavad Gita itself is such an example where Sri Krishna is sailing through life. He's walking on water basically. Even in the war, he is light as a feather. While Arjuna has become heavy, his heart has become heavy with attachment, fear, desire, and suffering. Okay, so there are only two planes. You can either be here and here. There's no middle point to stand on. You're either uh, your heart and mind is heavy and filled with attachment and sorrow, or you are light. So the idea is to stay more, to be more light, and to pass that on to the others, to help others also sail through life. So the entire spiritual uh, focus or intention and approach and uh, thought process is to realize something within us so that we might become light, we become free. That lightness is called freedom. Okay, just because you get rid of all your material possessions, you don't become free. If there's heaviness in the heart, how will you get rid of your memories? Something happened to me, somebody did this to me, somebody said this to me, or concepts. Oh, I should do this, I should not have done this. So to get rid of the physical is very easy. Even that people find very difficult. People don't want to part with even a single penny they have, a single possession they have. So let's say you have crossed over getting rid of the material, or not getting rid of it physically, not throwing it away, becoming detached from it. How will you become detached from the internal, what you carry inside? So spirituality is about becoming detached from what you're holding on to unconsciously. Is it clear so far?
Yes.
So let's look at what we are holding on to unconsciously in today's session. Because only if you know what you're holding on to can you let it go. Otherwise, you're holding on to it with the sense that, okay, I need it to go through life. correct? Like there's a child. A child has a toy. For you, it is senseless. Okay, but for the child, it's the greatest possession. It holds on to it. But when the child matures, the child lets go of the toy. Correct? In the same way, when you understand what you're holding on to, you will see the silliness of what you're holding on to. Then the detachment becomes natural. And when detachment becomes natural, the heart becomes light. And when the heart becomes light, life becomes beautiful. Is it making sense? So let's see what is that you're holding on to. Any idea what you're holding on to internally? Externally is very clear. I am holding on to my children, my spouse, my house, my possessions. We hold on to that because we need to survive. It's a survival mechanism. You need relationships, you need finances, you need job. You hold on tight to that because if that you lose, it becomes hard for you to survive. So external is very clear. Internal, what are you holding on to? Is the question clear?
Yes. Is it something like our egos or our I want to be heard, that kind of feelings?
Ego, okay.
Memories,
Emotions,
probably.
memories,
Memories, you're holding on to memories, yes.
emotions,
You're holding on to emotions, yes. Anything else?
Relationships and aspirations, I think.
Aspirations, relationships. So there is a story of Nehruji. So Nehruji was the prime minister long time ago. He goes to he's in creation of various institutions. He's also created an asylum, mental asylum. Okay, in the mental asylum, he goes to visit. It's an inauguration day. Sorry, not inauguration. It's been inaugurated. He's been invited at a later stage to visit and see how they're operating. He goes there and he sees a beautiful place, spacious garden, greenery, and everything in a remote outside the city. And he just goes and sits in the garden. There's a bench there. He sits, and there's another elderly gentleman sitting next to him. The elderly gentleman asks him, "Who are you?" Nehruji says, "I'm Nehru, the Prime Minister of the country." And the elderly gentleman says, "Don't worry, you'll be okay. Stay here for 2 months, they'll fix you. Then you'll know who you are." When I came here, I thought I was Mahatma Gandhi. Now I'm all right. You understand? So people who think they're somebody else, let's say you start telling I'm Shah Rukh Khan, they'll put you in a mental asylum. Correct? So when you call people mad, when they start behaving or believing that they're something else, apart from what they are. True, false?
True.
Okay. Now this is exactly everybody's case. To think you are somebody else, you put them in a mental asylum. To think you are the body, mind, and the identity that you have is a real madness. Did you get it? So if an ordinary person thinks he's some extraordinary person, you call them mad. But you are also that extraordinary person. You are thinking you are body, mind, intellect when you are Brahman. Are you understanding, Savita?
I understand. I'm not able to relate to it.
So you think you are Savita. That is the madness. To think you are this body is the, but by this standard, everybody would have to be in a mental asylum. So you can't do that. So 99% of the mad people are on the outside. So just the way you stand outside and look at the asylum and tell, oh, all those people are mad, the enlightened person looks at everybody else and feels the same way. Oh my God, these people are thinking there's something else. Did you get it?
I get it, but still, yeah, go ahead.
The still part will come. So so we're now making the problem statement. What is the problem? The problem is I am holding on to something that I'm not. Whatever you said, I'm holding on to memory, I'm holding on to desire, I'm holding on to emotion. All that is secondary level. All that is coming out of holding on to some identity, false identity. The emotion is because, let's take one example of emotion. One example of an emotion is anger. The anger came because of some experience. The experience came because somebody, let's say, said something to you. Okay? One instance. Let's say somebody spoke harshly to you and you became angry. The anger, the emotion is all secondary. The real cause is you are holding on to some identity which got disturbed. So you have an identity that I'm a respectable person. Nobody should speak to me like this. When that identity gets affected, you start holding on to emotion, because now that identity has a stain on it. Somebody has put a black mark on that identity. So that keeps coming back as a memory. Somebody said that to me, somebody said that to me. You're still not able to swallow how that happened. But let's say you are able to dissolve that identity or let go of that identity, then all the emotions associated with that identity disappear. For example, let's say somebody has a relationship with a parent, and let's say a bad relationship. The parent is abusive and very bad. And after some time, naturally, the parent passes away. The passing away of the parent, does it heal the emotional scars?
No, obviously.
It doesn't.
No.
No. What would heal is, let's say, even if the parent is there, if you are able to dissolve the identity that you are holding on to, then you become free. So mukti means, enlightenment means dissolving all false identities. All that you think you are not. So far, is it clear? So how to do it, make it happen, we'll see. But first you have to understand very clearly that there is no cause from the outside for any of your disturbances or experiences or state of mind. What is the cause?
I think it is the identity.
The cause is you holding on to a false identity. So at any point of time, anything happens in life, please be very clear that the other is not creating disturbance in you. The other is incapable. Neither can you create disturbance in anybody, or other can create disturbance in you. But if that person is holding on to some identity, that identity is what they themselves harm themselves. It's called autoimmune disease. Have you heard of autoimmune disease? Autoimmune disease means the body starts attacking itself. Okay, because of whatever reason, emotional disturbance or whatever reason, the body starts thinking the body itself is the enemy and starts killing the body. And this is what we do to ourselves throughout our lives. And next level of madness, blame somebody else for doing it. You're doing it to yourself, and then you're saying, it's because of God I'm in this place. It's because of my husband I'm in this place. It's because of my parents I'm in this place. It's because of my children I'm like this. It's because of my boss I'm like this. Do you understand? So spirituality is about becoming free from this madness of identities. It's a shock treatment, exactly the same way in the asylum. Okay, the patient has to be shocked to come back to reality. Otherwise, they live in their fantasy world. To give you an example, let's say you go into the mental asylum and there is a corridor filled with patients, and some patient you pass by, they start abusing you. Would you feel hurt? They start telling that you are my mother-in-law or father-in-law and starts abusing you. When you have no connection to them, would you feel any disturbance?
No.
Maybe some fear because where that person will attack you, but there is no hurt because you know that person is insane, right? That is the condition of every human being on the planet, apart from the awakened beings. Everybody who thinks they are something is interacting with somebody who thinks they are something else. Can you imagine the mess? Somebody thinks they are something and they're interacting with somebody who thinks they're something else. And this person not only has a false identity about himself or herself, they have a false identity about the other also. And what kind of interactions do you think will happen? Any sensible interaction can happen? Prasad sir, you're on mute, can't hear you.
No. Can you give a simple example on our day-to-day life about this? So someone we think we are something else, and we are
Okay.
interacting with our own people, thinking they are something else.
Simplest example is home. In your house,
Yeah.
you have an identity of let's say, a father.
Yes.
And you have no clarity of who you really are. You have a role of a father, and that identity comes with various attachments and emotions. And you're interacting with the relationship that you have with the child. The child has a notion of itself, whatever it's been filled with, okay, whatever it's been conditioned with. Now, two conditioned entities are colliding.
But that's reality, right?
It's
That's
reality.
the true identity also, right? I mean, that's so I am being the father is father. There's nothing, no, something else. It is the no, the relationship.
It is a relationship.
Yeah.
It is a role.
Yeah.
One role, which is biased role, is relating to another role, which is a biased role.
What do you mean by biased?
So let's say you're a father.
Yeah.
And you have, so that brings a lot of attachment to the child. Okay, responsibility. It brings first level, I am responsible for the child. I have to take care of the child. I have to groom the child. It brings the entire life of the child until a certain age. I have to take care. Correct. Now that role, it's a responsibility given to you. Now the child also associates with you. Okay, this person is taking care of me. He's especially with the father. With the mother, the child has a deeper connection. The father role, that's why when the child is a baby, it is more connected to the mother because of the biology. Biologically, they're connected. They were connected biologically inside in the womb, and after the separation, also they're still connected. Father is introduced. Okay, and it's accepted. The child doesn't question, it's accepted. Now the child starts understanding the surrounding and the world, and it starts living based on the inputs given to it. Now those inputs, are they absolute inputs? Are they correct inputs? So it gets input from TV. Like say for example, it watches TV, and in the TV, it sees a certain relationship of a father and child. It sees, let's say, a movie, and in the movie, the father is behaving certain way. Then the child starts building a expectation that my father also has to behave like that with me. Is that a real expectation? This is a
What
child,
it's been absorbed or taught or
right? So the child picks up some uh, understanding of how people should behave, and that how people should behave is defined by various inputs, mostly by TV, if it watches a lot of TV, or it observes somebody else, and all that it starts superimposing on you, the father, and has expectations from you which you will never understand. Does it make sense? You cannot understand how the child is thinking. Just because you're the father, you gave some cells to it, you are not able to understand the internal working of the child. You are able to take care financially, you're able to give it clothes, you are able to give it food and shelter, but you're not able to enter within its thought process. You're able to give it some morals and good stories and all that, but you're not able to define how it's interpreting all of that. Let's say you give good teachings to your child, moral teachings and all that, spiritual teachings and everything. You can only give the teaching. You have no control of how it interprets the teaching. Okay? So it is living with certain interpretation that it has made on its own. You are also living with interpretation that you have made. So as a father, you have certain expectations from the child. That it's my child, it's born in a good family, it has to behave like this, it should not do like this. And when it crosses that line, there is hurt. Okay, so when the parent finds the child doing drugs or smoking, the parent is hurt because it doesn't fit into the framework that they had for the child. Do you understand?
Okay.
Sorry, I had
I'll just complete it, then we'll take the question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So one conditioned identity with various interpretations is interacting with another conditioned identity with various interpretations of each other. So the child has certain expectation from you which you will never understand. You have certain expectations from the child which the child will never understand. You think the child can understand what you expect from the child? The child has its own free thought process. It wants to live on its own. And that becomes very evident when the child becomes teenager. So in the teenage, it doesn't want to be anything like the parent. It runs away far from the parent. It doesn't even want to say this is my parent. Have you seen such teenagers? So it's all various interpretations and various conditioning. Now two of them are interacting. That's why most of the child and the parent have rift. This is the example given to what I said about holding identities and interacting with the identity. Is this part clear, Prasadji?
Yeah. I think many a times what I also get from here is maybe we understand either, but the either side, do we fulfill that is a question.
I didn't get the second part. What is that? What was the second part?
See, we understand what is the expectation.
Okay.
Do we fulfill that expectation is where the challenge. Otherwise, it doesn't happen most of the time.
fulfill the expectation of the child.
Either way, either like the example you gave is like a child has certain expectation from the father or a parent, and the father has a certain expectations from the child. So do we understand that expectation is the question? So what I feel is like many
No,
times we understand the expectation, but we will not fulfill.
no. So you will only understand up to the extent of your understanding. Like the teacher is saying something, you will only understand. Student only understands up to the extent of the his own understanding. The child, there is no way you can really understand what is going on in another human being's mind, be it a child, adult, anybody. Even the couples living together for 100 years will not be able to truly understand what the other person is like, how the other person will behave. Of course, they'll make some, okay, they wake up in the morning at this time, they like this food, they like that food. But in reality, they'll never ever be able to understand what is actually going on inside the person's mind.
Is it absolute or like is it like
It is absolute.
percentage kind of thing? I understand 80%, 70%, something like that, or I don't understand or I understand something like absolute.
The, the absolute is until and unless you have understood who you really are, you will never understand the other. But if you have understood who you really are, you understand everybody. Once you have deciphered your own mind, then you're able to see through the other minds. If you are not, you are seeing, to give you a story, there was in Buddha's time, somebody asked a similar question. Buddha, I'm able to understand whatever you have told me, I'm able to understand. I'm able to understand about the self, about the no ego, and I think I'm understood. Am I enlightened? Okay. So Buddha takes him to the field. There is an elephant there. And there are 5 blind men who are invited. 5 blind men. And they're asked to understand the elephant. So the one person holds the leg, he feels the leg and he says, okay, I have understood the elephant. It is like a pillar. The other person holds the tail, it says, okay, I've understood the elephant. It is like, it's soft, it's flexible. The other person holds the tusk, he says, okay, I've understood the elephant, it's very hard, sharp. So which one of them understood the elephant?
None.
None. Whatever their understanding was partial. And that is partial is as good as no understanding. It's very close to zero understanding. Imagine if they start living as if that elephant is that. It doesn't make any sense. You can't do anything with partial understanding. It's a useless understanding.
Okay.
So until you see the reality of yourself, you will never ever be able to understand the other. All your understanding up to that point will only be a imagination, not reality. So basically, people live in an imaginary world. That is what is called Maya. Have you heard of Maya? Word Maya? Maya means that which is not there appears to be there. Yama, ya iti mayaha. That which is not there appears to be there. And what is not there is all your interpretations of the other is not true. Because you yourself are standing on a false identity. The day you become free from identity and realize your true self, then you're able to see the other also as a self. Because the other also is the self. Is this part clear? True understanding of the other only comes after realizing your true self. To give you an example in our day-to-day life, there's a mechanic. You take the car to the mechanic. The mechanic is able to open the car up completely to the smallest nut and put it back together. Correct? He or she has understood one machine. By that, any car you take to him, he's able to fix. Because they are all pretty much similar. They might have different colors and different model and design, but essentially they're all similar, right? So once you decipher your mind completely and your identity completely and become free from your identities, then you're able to decipher the other. That's what a guru is supposed to be. That's what is Sadguru, a Buddha or a Krishna. The Krishna and the Buddha has become free from all their identities. They have gone to the deepest core of themselves and uprooted all their identities. That is why they're able to see clearly the other and help them to come out. You understand? If they have not done it, they cannot help the other. If Krishna has not become free from fear because of identity, he cannot help Arjuna on the battlefield. Prasad sir, is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Saujanya, you had a comment?
No, I was just trying to summarize or rather understand from my perspective of what you mentioned about expectation and what we do. With whether which I mean what I believe or rather I've understood about bringing up my children is that I'm just a source for them to come onto this universe.
Right.
What they have come for and what they would achieve is something in their own hands, and what they have to perceive in terms of learning or experience is what they will have to go through as an individual, similar to what I'm going through.
Right.
So, I mean, it goes with any relationship that we talk about, right? I mean, whether we talk about our parents, whether we talk about our spouses, friends, relatives, whoever that we are interacting and meeting through our journey. They
Right.
are just coming in for some purpose and they're going out of our lives for some purpose.
Right.
And once the purpose is met, they're no longer existing in your life.
Correct.
Is that what you were trying to say? Like, because it's just that it's in my journey, I will have these people coming and going.
Yeah.
They might have expectations, like you said, and I do have expectations from them. Only when those expectations are not met is when you feel hurt, depressed, uh, anxiety, all those feelings come into play. But if you don't have any expectations in any of these relationships, is when you feel, I mean, when actually I felt that I don't feel any of these feelings anymore, whether it's with my parents or my brother or my husband,
Right.
because I know what they're doing is what as per their understanding or their expectations or their limitation rather,
Right.
and what I'm doing is as per my limitation. We
Right.
can't go beyond this to do anything to satisfy someone or
Correct.
to
There is always
to just
a
make them
reasonable
feel
boundary. Correct.
yeah,
But the
and that
expectations
every
are
one of us
unreasonable.
have that boundary.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. What you said is absolutely correct. All of all of them are just uh, have some interaction, some purpose to play out, which they will play out, and they have some expectations. Sometimes the expectations are unreasonable. Most of the time, the expectation is unreasonable because it's coming out of lack of clarity of yourself, the true self. Now, spirituality is about decluttering that, becoming free from the false identities that you carry. Okay, it has nothing to do with relationships, it has nothing to do with actions, it has nothing to do with roles, it has nothing to do with anything external. So is this primary understanding clear, that spirituality is about finding your true identity?
So
And
you mean to say, uh, Krishna, in this example, what you give, like a father and a child,
hmm,
the father is a role, not identity.
father is a role. To identify the role as real is a false identity.
Sorry, come again.
Father is a role
Okay.
that I have to play. I am not father. I am the one who plays the role of a father. Is the identity. I am Brahman playing the role of a father. What happens if God plays the role of father? let's say in your situation, God himself is operating through your body.
Okay. If it is that's not identity, it's a role, only a role.
No, let's say, example, God himself.
Hmm.
Who is your favorite deity?
Shiva.
Shiva. Shiva has taken over your body, possessed your body,
Hmm.
and is playing the role of a father. Will there be a difference?
He's playing a role, but that's not his identity.
He's playing a role, but
Hmm.
will there be difference in him playing a role and you playing a role?
Not necessary. Yeah. It
There
could
will
be
be.
same. It could be different. Yeah. It will be. It depends. Yeah.
It'll be, no, Shiva is an infinite consciousness.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Shiva is detachment.
Hmm.
Shiva has gnana. Shiva
Okay.
has
Yes. Yes.
unconditioned love.
Hmm.
So if that such a being becomes the father of your child will become Ganesha. You understand? So who is playing the role matters. Take simple example, yeah. There's a role of a prime minister. One wise 60-year-old man playing the role versus somebody else playing that role. There's a lot of difference that happens on the country. Correct?
Hmm. Yes.
Imagine some nut job becomes the prime minister. What happens to the country? This is the same thing. Neither of them are the role, but who takes on the role matters a lot. So there should be correction in who takes on the role. That identity has to be corrected. So when you identify yourself as Shiva, Shiva himself will play the role of the father. The you
So
disappears.
the focus is more on how we play the role rather than like
No, no,
identity
no,
as
no.
a role, right? No.
The focus is never on how you play the role. The focus is more on who is playing the role. Giving up your seat for God. Now you are playing the role.
Hmm.
Spirituality is about letting go and God take over.
Okay.
So there's a beautiful saying of one of the Western philosophers. He says, art is a collaboration between God and the artist.
Hmm.
Art is a collaboration between God and the artist. And the less the artist does, the better. You understand? So any work you do is a collaboration between you and Bhagwan. But people don't allow Bhagwan to operate at all. The ego does not allow the universe to operate. It operates with the individuality. That is what we have to become free from. That is what this whole uh, discussion is. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you operate thinking I am operating through you. He says, Nimitta Matram. You are just an instrument for me to kill these people. But Arjuna is interfering. He's saying, no, I'm not going to fight. You understand?
Yeah.
Is the problem statement clear? The problem statement is there is a seat inside your heart, and only one person can sit, either God or you. You means ego. The ego has taken over. The ego is the feeling of individuality, the feeling of I am this. God is feeling of infinity. So what is operating right now? Infinity or individuality? So the shift from individual to universal is the journey in spirituality. And it's not a journey. It's not that I will go there. It is to realize that God is the only one who is doing everything. I am only deluding myself thinking I am doing. Were you all part of the class where we made Vivek do coffee?
Yes.
Prasad sir, were you there?
Yeah.
Oh,
You missed there. Okay. So you remember how we understood that everything is a happening. The idea of the individual doer is absolutely false. Mamta ji has become silent.
No, no.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's only one seat, like one prime minister position. In your heart, there's only one seat. The question is, who is sitting in that seat? When Bhagwan himself sits, it is called enlightenment. That is why the enlightened person is said to be Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. There is no more an individual operating through that person. It is Bhagwan himself speaking, talking, uh, whatever they're doing. So in Krishna, Supreme Reality itself is doing everything, no matter what he does. So that is our desire in the spiritual journey. We are saying, enough. I have ruined my life and my relationships and whatever with this false identity. I want to give it up. I want to now allow the universe to take over and operate through me so that I become a divine vehicle. And then, when it happens, whatever you speak will be the speech of Bhagwan. Whatever you do will be the actions of Bhagwan. Whatever you have intention will be the intentions of Bhagwan. Savita, any doubts in that?
I was thinking, so what state do you feel or realize when it's no more me who is
Okay,
should be taking the.
got it. So the question is, at what stage do I realize that I am no longer operating and Bhagavan is operating? Is that the question?
When should I let go? When do I know that it's what I do is not me completely?
So the two questions, when do I let go and when do I know? The two different questions. When do I let go is now. The answer is always now. That's why Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, in the last chapter, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashuchaha. Give up everything right now, Arjuna, because the battle is happening now. Life is always now. Have you ever seen life tomorrow? You always experience life as now. So when do I give up? My control is now. And how do I give up? By understanding, by gnana, by the teaching. It's called Shravana Matrena. Satkrit Shravana Matrena Brahma Gnanam Yato Bhavet. By listening to the teachings of Brahman, you let go immediately. It's not that you will listen and tomorrow you let go. That moment you listen, that moment will happen. Okay, is the first answer clear? When do I let go? Just, and that letting go is called surrender, Sharanagati. Sarva dharman parityaja. Give up all your. So Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja. Give up all your false identities. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Surrender to me. When he says me, it doesn't mean Krishna. It means the supreme reality, Brahman. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Then I will take care of your life. Okay? So when do I let go? Now. When will I know I have let go? Is when you let go, you know that you have let go. When do you know you have let go? Let go is immediately this relaxation, deep relaxation. All questioning has stopped. All doubts have stopped to the mind. And there's deep relaxation because you're relaxed. A child is very relaxed. Why? It doesn't take responsibility. It has not yet become responsible. Right? Children are more relaxed than adults because they cannot understand responsibility yet. The stress in the adult is the responsibility. People will hold me accountable. Do you understand? So when you let go of that to Bhagwan, there's a deep relaxation and doubts are disappear from the mind. That is when you know. If that has not happened, if the mind is still agitated, that means you are still holding on to some identity. So is the criteria for telling Who is operating clear? Savita?
Yeah.
So what is the criteria?
Let go that control that we intend to have of a sense of responsibility or being held accountable.
How do you let go?
I think by living or letting. One second, one second.
Okay. Saved by
Krishna,
the...
but does it mean I still need to play the role from the identity that I have, right? My day-to-day life is run through that identity and these various roles that we play. Now, even if it means let it go or not having that sense of responsibility or accountability, I still need to play that role. So, does it mean that I continue to do the same, but I just disassociate myself from the outcome of that? That means, let's say I have an expectation, as you were giving father child example, that my child should do this or should behave like this. But when he doesn't, then that sense of hurt or anger or whatever that will not come if I let it go.
No,
Is that
so
what is expected, or did I?
no, please understand letting go here. And when we say let go, I'm telling you have, the person has understood because of Atma Gnana, by teachings of the enlightened master, he's understood himself or herself, the true self, Atman. And as a byproduct of understanding the true identity, all the false identities are dropped. Okay? And after that, whatever happens is done by the pure identity, not the false identity. So to make it more clear, now I am operating with the identity of I am the body, mind, intellect. Okay, or forget the body, mind, forget all the spiritual jargons. Now I'm operating as mamata.
Hmm.
But then I realize my true nature is Shiva.
Hmm.
I am Shiva. When I realize I am Shiva, mamata is no more there. But for the others, mamata will be appearing to be doing so many things.
Hmm.
But who is doing that in reality now from tomorrow? Who is doing it?
Shiva.
Shiva. And Shiva does it with more responsibility, more better than you could have ever imagined.
Mhm.
That is what is enlightenment. Is this clear now? When you drop your false identity and realize the true identity takes over. The true identity operates from out of love and peace. The false identity operates out of memory, out of desire, out of emotion. So you will know exactly where you stand by asking the question, who is doing it? Am I operating out of desire? Am I operating out of emotion? Am I operating out of expectation? Then it's mamta. Am I operating out of peace and love? Then it's Bhagavan. Is it clear now?
Oh, explanation is clear, but I still can't imagine how will it be different for my child, whether it's Mamta behaving or it's the Shiva in me behaving. I mean, will the outcome be different?
It will
I
be.
assume it will be different, but I can't imagine that difference.
Arre,
So that,
forget Shiva, yeah, forget
sorry.
Shiva. Okay, let's say somebody that you look up to, some role model of yours.
Hmm, hmm,
Okay, let's say some great politician or king or scientist or intelligent person or somebody of much higher
hmm,
intelligence than you.
hmm.
So definitely there's always somebody who's more intelligent than you,
Yeah,
correct?
sure.
Right? So imagine that person playing through becoming your child's parent for a day.
Mm.
don't you think they will realign your child's life?
Maybe, yeah.
I
Maybe.
think Mamta is thinking about, it might not be as per my expectation, but definitely it will change.
So what I understand, Mamta Krishna here is, see, when we operate, no, as that role, say for example, in the same example, like father. So one is definitely if we operate from expectation, it has to happen this way. We
Yeah,
also think we have a control of it, but in reality, I don't think we have a control on the outcome.
yeah,
So that is where like expectations, if we operate from the expectations, sometimes it meets, sometimes it doesn't meet. Then
yeah,
we go through this. Instead, like what Krishna said is, if you operate from pure love and then peace, there is no question of expectation. There is no question of control there.
Yeah.
So then, whatever happens. There is an acceptance rather than expectation. Is an acceptance. That
Correct.
is again is a peace here and peace there. That is
Correct.
what I understand.
So what you are, you pass on to the child. Like how you pass on your genetics, your body, genes, you pass on the psychology also. If you are self-realized, if there is Bhagwan operating through you, definitely there is impact on the child's life. Not only child, the entire world that you live in will be transformed. That is what is a Buddha. Buddha, when he was a Prince Siddhartha, he didn't affect anybody's life. Why? Because he has an identity that I am a prince. So when he became a Buddha, he transformed half the world. He brought peace to half the world. Why? Now the idea of I can bring peace to half the world is not big anymore because he's Bhagwan. Where you stand, you will operate like that. If you are a pauper, you can never imagine of starting a business. But if you're a rich person, a billionaire, you will start 10 businesses. You're more fearless. So where you stand, what identity you have, defines your life and actions. So spirituality is about taking the highest identity. I am Brahman. I am pure consciousness. I am Shiva. And when I say I am Shiva, I'm not saying I, as an individual, am Shiva. Shiva only is in me. I am not there. Naham karta, Harideva karta. I am not the one who does. Bhagwan alone does. And when that becomes very clear, all impossible tasks become possible. Is it clear? Mamta, you said something?
no, no.
No, I was just
Sorry,
trying
Janya.
to understand this. We keep saying letting go, right? I mean, the minute I let go is when I realize this isn't this process something that I have to be continuously uh, being conscious about because the the ego I would keep coming back to us with expectations, with what we want in our life. But that how do we
Right.
get to that way where it's you identify that the I ego is coming in and you keep letting go because
Correct.
I don't think it's a one day process or just once that you do it and then everything is
Correct. So it
happening
is
that way.
the process of letting go is called as enquiry. Letting go happens because of enquiry. For example, it's like the police catch a thief, and when the police question more, the thief starts revealing more, telling the truth. So the ego is like a thief. It keeps telling lies and lies and lies about the world, about you, about other, about God, everything. It's a lie manufacturer. Okay? Now the ego has to be questioned, and then it starts telling the truth. So the process of letting go is called koham. Who am I? When you do something and when you get a sense, oh, I did this, immediately ask, who did this? Understand? So you say, you're talking to somebody and you say, oh, my child is so great. Immediately become aware and ask, whose child? Who is the I? Questioning who am I is what will remove all false identity, because the ego can't answer this question. Did you get it, Savita? So let us practice this. We have some more time. Let us do the Koham Prakriya. It's called the Koham Prakriya, where we sit and ask, who am I?
Murli, so this journey of letting go and all that I'm trying to still decipher. But my question is then, if it is somebody else who is, I mean, if it is the Brahman who is acting, what is the confusion about them? Why do we remain in that door? Why are we confused and unsure about letting go? Even letting go. Forget about decision making. Even that letting go is becomes a challenge. Why the confusion? Why the resistance? If I'm ready to let go, but it still doesn't go. Why? What is that dilemma all about?
So the why is because you are saying I'm ready to let go, but it's not happening. Okay, why is that? Why is it like that? I've understood what the teaching is. I'm ready to give up. I'm ready for Bhagwan to take over, but it's not happening. Why? Because what you are saying right now is from a conscious mind. So mind has three levels: conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Conscious, subconscious, unconscious. What state are you in right now? You are operating from a conscious mind. What is the percentage of conscious mind versus subconscious mind? How much percent of you is conscious?
I'd say 100%, pretty much. No?
99% of you is subconscious and unconscious. For example, now you're talking to me, right? You're listening. You're consciously thinking. But unconsciously, subconsciously and unconsciously, there are a lot of, your heart is beating, your stomach is digesting, the cells are rejuvenating. A lot of highly intelligent activities are happening, which you cannot do consciously. Can you consciously digest your food? It is beyond human intelligence. So there is something in you which is doing something beyond intelligence. That is the subconscious and unconscious part. There's this subconscious mind, which is 99% of you. When you say you, 99% is subconscious and unconscious. Only 5.11% is conscious. For example, let's say you say, I want to go somewhere. I want to go on a vacation. That conscious saying is only 0.1%. For it to actualize, so many things have happened which you have no control of. First, coronavirus has to go away, which you have no control of. Okay? So that unconsciously you might say, I want this. That's what happens in prayer. Have you observed that when you pray, you say, I want this God? The exact opposite happens in life many times. Because consciously you say, I want this. For example, you say, I want more money, God. But unconsciously you're saying, I don't deserve it. There are two prayers happening when you pray. One is consciously you're praying something to God. One is subconsciously you're praying something. Okay, and subconscious is more powerful than the conscious. Are you clear about that? Subconscious is more powerful because it's the one who runs everything, runs your life. It runs your body and your entire life. So that is what, and who do you think God will listen to you? Subconscious or conscious?
It working in its own self itself is God working, right? I mean, that's my perception. I don't think.
The subconscious mind is feeling, it's deep feeling. Conscious mind is only thought. You understand? Thought is insignificant compared to feeling. Let's say you have a bad thought versus a bad feeling. What is more powerful?
Feeling is more powerful.
Feeling, and that feeling is subconscious. And universe responds to the feeling. If somebody has a feeling, whatever they have a feeling, the universe responds to that, good or bad. We create our lives with our feelings that we have, not thought. Okay, thought, you might think a million thoughts. Imagine you have a million thoughts and everything starts coming true. It doesn't happen.
Danger.
What comes true is what you actually feel. So somebody feels, okay, now I really feel I deserve prosperity. Then prosperity will come to their life. I feel I need a partner. Then partner will appear. What you feel, the universe gives. What you think, the universe doesn't give.
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction. Law of attraction is the universe, you attract what you feel, not what you think. Thinking is very superficial. So if you look in your own life, if you go back in your memory and see your life has been molded by feeling, your inner feeling. That inner feeling is subconscious. For anything to happen, whatever happens in your life, the subconscious makes it happen. That is why if somebody is able to tap into the subconscious, they're able to get more control of the life. So if you're able to command the subconscious, you can create life the way you want it. Now life is happening to you and you just accept whatever happens.
Right.
Right? You have no choice. The more you meditate, the more you become free. Life will no longer be a happening. Life will become a creation. There's a difference between life is a happening and life is a creation. Enlightenment is about creating my own life. Bondage is about life as a happening. Something that I did unconsciously yesterday is coming back to me.
See, is that what means Brahman is operating? Then I am operating. Is that state?
Which state?
When no, I move towards that one, like subconscious and the feelings. Then I instead of like life is happening, like I will. So moving towards no, the feelings, whatever, I'm in control of that life.
Yeah. No. So first level is the answer to Savita's question about I understand it, but I'm not able to let go. You're not able to let go is because you're only still operating from the conscious level. When the teaching goes deeper, when the clarity becomes subconscious, then the surrender happens. Then the surrender is total. Otherwise, the surrender is only at a thought level. Surrender has to happen at a feeling level. Is it clear? Savita, the answer is clear?
Yeah, answer is clear, but still the approach to life's creation or subconsciousness taking over, to let go of
So don't worry about all that. You just focus on the truth, teachings of Atma Gnana. Everything happens as a result of Gnana. Go on exposing yourself to the truth. You understand? You have been exposing yourself to untruth so many years. However long you have lived, you're continuously being exposed to untruth. Go on exposing to truth. So this way out is, the way of letting go is, Sri Shankaracharya said, Satsangatve Nisangatva. Have you heard that? Satsanga. Satsanga means, Sat means truth. Sangha means association. associate with the truth. Satsangatve, nissangatvam. By associating with the truth, you will disassociate with the untruth. That's all. Formula is very simple. More satsang, less dussang. Dussang doesn't mean bad company. Dussang means mad company. People generally think dussang means, oh, some bad people are there, I should not hang out with them. No. Dussang means hang out with mad people, people who think they are the body, mind, intellect. You understand? You need more time with satsang, where the truth is contemplated on. Then everything comes naturally.
When you say the truth, what exactly are you getting at, Murli? Truth.
All these sessions I've been talking about the truth. You should tell me.
Brahman. You were saying connect with the Brahman.
Brahman is the only reality. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Brahman is the only reality. Bhagwan is the only reality. If you're seeing anything else apart from God, you are in delusion. If you're experiencing anything else apart from love and peace, you are in delusion. If you are experiencing suffering, you are in delusion. So the line is very clear. Any doubt? So how is the question answered? How? How do I let go really? How do I really let go is deeper. The work has to become deeper. And the deeper work happens with satsang. So you can't miss classes from now on.
Yes.
Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Because of satsanga, you let go of false identities. Nissangatve nirmoha. Because you let go of false identities, all the attachment you had because of the false identity also you let go. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. So you understand? Attachment to satsanga causes detachment from false identities. Detachment from false identities causes detachment from experiences from false identities of emotions and hurt and everything. And detachment from all that brings nischalatattva, stillness of the mind. And that stillness of the mind is called jivan mukti, enlightenment. Mind becomes still. In pure identity, the mind doesn't move. In false identity, the mind runs. Okay, because you have to strategize against everything in the world. Okay, in nischala, in enlightenment, there's no strategy applied to the world. Animals have no strategy in life. They live a very peaceful life. Human beings have a lot of strategy. If this person comes, I'll tell like this, I'll behave like this, I'll smile like this. When you're going to the interview, you'll plan. Have you observed? Have you gone to an interview anytime? You'll plan, I'll tell like this. If they ask this question, I'll give a firm handshake. You're strategizing against life. So there's a beautiful Zen story. There were two Zen monasteries who were like rivals. There was a rivalry between them. And the monasteries had children, and the children were instructed never to interact with the other monastery's children. So they would never talk to each other. One day, accidentally, one of the monastery's boys were sitting in the park, and the boy from the other monastery passes by. And the first monastery boy asks the second monastery boy, "Where are you going?" Okay, what did he ask him? "Where are you going?" Simple question. The other monastery boy told, "Wherever my feet take me." Wherever my feet takes me. Now, I asked a simple question. Why is he giving such a profound answer? And he goes and tells this to the seniors. And the seniors scold him. You see, you got defeated by them. He gave you such a spiritual answer. You asked such a stupid question. That's why I told you never talk to them. So this guy, the boy decides tomorrow I'll ask him the same question. If he tells wherever the feet takes me, I'll ask him, what if the feet takes you in the wrong direction? So he strategizes. So next day he's waiting for the boy. The boy comes. He's ready to ask the question and also the prepared answer. He asks the boy, where are you going? The boy says, where the wind takes me. Now he was prepared for wherever the feet takes me question. He was not prepared for this answer. So again he's lost. He again goes back dejected. Next day again he comes prepared. If he tells this, I'll tell this. If he tells wind, I'll tell this. Third time he asks the question, where are you going? The boy says, to the market to get fruits. Again, he loses. So we keep strategizing against life. If life does like this, I'll do like this. I'll have so much money so that when something happens, I'll be covered. None of the strategies in life will work because all strategies in life are done by the ego. And Bhagwan doesn't strategize against life because Bhagwan creates life, creates what he wants. Is that clear? Beena has not said anything.
Yeah, so about creating your own life. So I had this question like, do we have an individual purpose or is it like everybody has the same purpose? Like,
Do we have an individual purpose or everybody has the same purpose? What is the purpose for anybody?
maybe to attain mukti or like enlightenment.
So you ask anybody, what is your purpose? Somebody is very clear. Somebody will tell, my purpose is I have to become successful. Somebody is unclear. They say, I don't know my purpose. I have not discovered it yet. In both the scenarios, both of them are very clear of the end goal, which is happiness. Somebody might tell, my purpose is I have to make my business successful. Somebody will tell, I have to be a good mother. Somebody will tell, my purpose is to serve the country. But in all, there's one common condition that I have to be happy. Okay? If that purpose is giving me sadness, for example, if somebody says, I want to do business, is my purpose. If they were getting sadness out of it, they would not do that. Somewhere they're deriving happiness. That's why they want to do that. So what is the purpose of life?
For somebody who's not very clear, like, I mean,
Everybody is clear they want happiness. It's a intuitive thing. Everybody is clear they want happiness. They might not be clear how to get it. You are clear that you want happiness?
yeah,
You want suffering?
no.
So it's very clear. The purpose in life is very clear. I don't want suffering, I want happiness. That is the purpose for every human being on the planet. But they have different ways of getting that. Somebody will tell, I will only be happy after I become a millionaire. Somebody will tell, I'll be happy when I serve the country. Somebody will tell, I'll be happy in the battlefield when I become a soldier. Somebody will tell, I'll be a doctor when I serve patients. The reasons are different. But purpose is very clear and common. What is that?
To be happy.
That's all. But there's a catch. The catch is, I want permanent happiness.
Right.
I don't want fickle happiness. You've had enough fickle happiness in your life? So you did something, you studied well, got good marks, got some happiness, then you lost the happiness.
Right.
Then you got a job, you got some happiness, then you lost the happiness.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to find a happiness that they'll never lose. Okay? And that happiness that you will never lose is called mukti, ananda, happiness of the self, satchit ananda. Everybody on the planet is seeking enlightenment. Everybody is actually only seeking permanent happiness, which is Atma Gnana, enlightenment. But they don't understand it that way, that's all. Do you understand? Everybody is only actually looking for Bhagavan. In the depths of the feeling of the subconscious mind, they want infinite happiness, which is the nature of Bhagavan. So indirectly, they want Bhagavan only. They might say it or not say it. So you see, what are you seeking in life? What are you seeking in life, Veena? What do you want?
Right. So as you said, everybody is like I mean, ultimately seeking happiness only, like permanent happiness. But as you said, somebody wants to be a doctor, somebody wants to serve the country. But so once they attain it, that is lost. Once the goal is achieved, like as you said, when you're a student, I wanted to attain good marks, maybe become the class topper. So once I got it, I lost that happiness. It was no more. So you keep chasing something one after the other. So you don't. Ultimately, you feel lost. Like, what is the ultimate purpose in life? Like, so
No, ultimate purpose in life is still the same. I want happiness that doesn't disappear.
right.
Until you find that, you will still keep continuing to search it in objects. The problem is you're searching for permanent happiness in temporary objects. You're looking in the wrong place. Did I tell you do you remember the story of Mullah Nasruddin? Where he's searching for the key?
Right.
The ring. So Nasruddin is searching for his gold ring, wedding ring, on the street. And people ask, what are you doing? He says, I'm searching for my ring. And they also help. After hours of searching, they don't find it. Then they ask him, where did you lose it? He said, I lost it in my house. Then they say, why are you searching here then? He says, because there's light here. So you lost your happiness within, but you're searching it outside. From where you'll get it? What you have lost is घर में, but बाहर ढूंढ रहे हो. You understand? So the spiritual example given is Kasturi Kundal Base. Okay, there's a famous doha by Kabir. Kasturi Kundal Base. Fire Mrug Ban Mein. The Kasturi, there's this thing. What is that? There's an animal, the deer. There's a scent it gets. It gets a sugandh scent, and it goes around the entire forest where the scent is coming from. And in search of that scent, it dies without realizing that scent is coming from its own body. The happiness is already, Bhagwan is there inside you, in your heart. The infinite happiness is there inside you. And you go on searching for it everywhere outside. And in that process, you have life's birth, death, life, birth, death. Once you find it within, the journey stops. So these sessions are not for you to continue the journey. These sessions are not for us to continue the sessions. It's to end. That's why it's called Vedanta. Anta, the end of Vedas, the end of teaching. This is the last point. No more after this. Because after this, you will find true happiness within. Is everybody clear? Everybody understanding? Mamta?
Yeah, got it.
Kasturi Kundal Base. What you're seeking is already there in you. Where all are you looking for it? People went to Himalayas, people went to ashrams. Buddha himself went everywhere. Ultimately, where did he find it? Within himself. Savita, where all have you gone in search?
Mostly mountains.
Mountains. Kasturi Kundal Base.
I'll carry that along now.
Huh?
I'll carry that along now.
What, Kasturi?
Yes. No, maybe Kundal.
Kundal.
Yes.
Clear so far?
Yes.
Any other doubts? Do we have time for practice? Mamta ji, clear?
Yep.
Beena?
Yeah.
Saujanya? Where is the Sugandh?
Within myself.
Within yourself. All the best things are then within yourself. See, you say we have experiences in life. And we say, okay, I went to that place and I got a beautiful experience. I gave birth to my child and I had the most beautiful, that was the most happiest day of my life. I got married to this person, that was the happiest day of my life. But you forget to realize that the experience was happening within you. The external condition was just a catalyst.
Yeah.
Okay? And that is happening like that because you conditioned it that way. You said, if this condition satisfies, I will experience this. You have the power to not put that condition and experience it directly. That is what is called spirituality, Atma Gnana. Without any conditions, experiencing infinite happiness. And after you realize, operate out of that infinite happiness. It doesn't mean you'll stop doing things. You will continue doing things, but this time you will do it out of happiness, not for happiness. That's the only difference. Before you wanted to get married for happiness, now you will get married out of happiness. Now I will share my happiness with somebody else. I'll make somebody else's life beautiful. That is the attitude. Before you had a child, okay, this child will fulfill my aspirations. He will go to MIT. She will go become a Nobel laureate or IIT. So you have expectations for your happiness. Now you will say, out of happiness, this child will live. I will give my happiness to it. It will live a happy life. And I'll teach it to understand its own happiness. That is the difference.
Yeah, beautiful.
And that is what is called conscious creation. Begging for happiness is unconscious life. Because whatever you do in your life, it is done with the corruption that I want happiness from it. And that corrupts everything. It corrupts relationships, it corrupts businesses, it corrupts the country, everything it corrupts. Imagine the politicians start working for their happiness. What will happen to the country? They will make millions and the country will be destroyed. In the same way, in your life, when you start working for your happiness, you will ruin everything in your life. But when you work out, when you say, I am already attained my happiness, now I'll share it. Now I'll do more work because I want to share it. And in sharing it doesn't tire you. It actually makes you more energetic. Asking for happiness tires you. It makes you stressful and lethargic. It ages you. Is it clear? Shall we go to practice? Enough theory?
Yep.
Okay. So we will, the meditation, the actual practice that I wanted to do was who am I? We'll come to that later because there's more explanation needed on it. What we discuss now is Kasturi Kundal Base. So we'll meditate on that. The shloka in the Bhagavad Gita for Kasturi Kundal Base is, Krishna says, Bhagavan Krishna tells, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridi Arjuna Tishtati. He says, Ishvara, the Bhagavan, is in the heart of all living beings. So the answer to the question, where is God?
He's with us.
God is there everywhere. God pervades everything. But everything you cannot perceive if He is not there in you. So primary is you. The perceiver has to be there. He has to illumine your body mind. Only then can you perceive the world. Correct? So let's say you go to a movie. Only you, if you have vision, can you see the movie. So your vision is the primary. So God is in your heart. And through that, you experience everything else. The abode of God, it's called Kailas. Have you heard of this place called Kailas? Whose abode is Kailas?
Shiva.
Shiva. Kailash means Kaivalya Las. Kaivalya means alone. Lasya means dance. A place where the Supreme Reality dances. And where is that? Heart. The Kailas is in you. Okay, and the Shiva is in you, in that Kailas. But it is covered by the mind. So like how there's the sun, but the clouds cover it, and you can't see the sun anymore. In the same way, that Bhagwan in the heart is covered by all your feelings and emotions. If you're able to penetrate, you'll find Bhagwan. Clear? So let us now meditate on Hridi, on Kailasa in the heart, on the Parabrahman in the heart. So what is there in you, what is operating you is Bhagwan. So let us start with this understanding. Is the understanding clear? Savita, is the understanding clear?
Yeah,
Is it logical?
logical.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in deep. Breathe out. Take 3 deep breaths. Relax. Become aware of your entire body, the space within your body. The body is filled with space from the top of the head to the bottom, to the feet. Just become aware of the entire body and the entire space within the body. Now, become aware of your face and mouth, and visualize as if you're swallowing your mind. And when you swallow, the mind goes through the throat and stays in the heart center. Become aware of the heart center, the center of your chest. Visualize your favorite deity or Guru, Sadguru, or God in the form of divine light in the center of your heart, in the heart center. Surrender to the divinity in your heart. Surrender all stress, suffering, doubts, fear, anxiety. Just surrender everything to the divinity in your heart. And sit with the visualization and awareness of the deity, guru, or divine light in the heart center. Keep your mind at the heart center. God is in my heart. Visualize and experience the divinity in the heart. Expand and encompass your entire body, your entire being is filled with the deity or guru or divine light. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Slowly open your eyes. So, Mamata, were you able to, was the practice helpful? Were you able to visualize?
For a few moments.
Okay. Savita?
Very, very sporadic,
Sorry, very?
very small.
Very short time, okay. Beena?
Yeah, few minutes.
Prasad, sir?
Yeah, I could, able to feel it basically.
Yeah,
That the divine are like, okay, I am not controlling. I could feel it.
very
So,
nice.
I mean, maybe for the first time, the many meditations what I have done, I had this kind of experience or feeling.
Very good. So the practical use of this awareness is in actual life. Whenever you probably face a difficult situation or some situation that is difficult, just for a second close and take your awareness here and become aware of the divinity. Then the divinity takes over and resolves the issues. Okay. And this I'm not just saying, I have done this and experienced it in my own life also, that the solutions for very complex situations just come from the universe. There's no your thinking involved or your effort involved. Something just happens. That is what happens when you connect. This is called superconscious mind. I told you conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Then there is superconscious. That superconscious is Bhagwan. And that superconscious operates from heart center. Saujanya?
I could, but I had to pull back to present at times, so it was not for a longer duration. It
Okay.
was on and off.
Okay. So the secret of visualization, why I said visualize is, the subconscious mind and unconscious mind is more visualization. Thought is only word. So that's why most of your thoughts don't manifest. When you're afraid, you visualize things happening to you, disease happening to you. That's why they happen to you. What you visualize goes as a command to the subconscious mind, especially what you visualize before sleeping. That's why in many practices they say before sleeping, what you think of and what you visualize comes true. Because sleeping is going into, you're losing your conscious faculty, you're going into more unconscious and subconscious realm. So just before you enter that, whatever command or thought you put are seeds. So be very careful of what you see, speak about, and interact before sleeping. Because that goes as a command and that will happen in your life. And you can use it to your advantage by consciously putting in something that you want. This is the process of visualization. You can visualize your desires coming true. And the way of visualization is, subconscious mind doesn't understand tomorrow. If you give the command, I want to, for example, I want to get money tomorrow, you will get money tomorrow. Meaning that tomorrow will go on, you will get money tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. You will never get it. It keeps on because you said tomorrow. You will get tomorrow. And tomorrow, when tomorrow comes, you ask, where is my money? It will tell tomorrow. You understand? So you need to create, you need to say, the command should be not I want this, but I have it and I'm experiencing it.
It's
You
more
should
like
experience.
affirmations, right? It's more like
Yeah,
giving
this is the next level of affirmation. This is not affirmation. This is creating reality.
Okay.
Where you're saying that I am already experiencing it. So experience the joy that you would experience of having money. Then money will come. But if you're seeking for it, it will never come. I'm just giving an example of money. Anything in your life, including enlightenment, whatever, you should always visualize as if it's already there. Then it manifests. You can use it for others also. You can visualize, okay, my loved ones are prosperous already, then that will manifest. If you say let them be tomorrow, then the tomorrow will become perpetual, infinite. Savita, is this clear? This is the secret of the subconscious mind. Use your visualization to create the life that you want as if it's happening now, then it manifests. Okay? So we're exactly at 1 o'clock. If you have any questions, I can answer, or we can close the session. Any questions?
When's the next class?
Now Savita wants more satsang. But I think you're a little too late to ask the question. The next class is the last class. Okay, so the next session will be hopefully in Vivek's office. Based on the corona situation, we'll decide and we'll plan. Whenever it's safe for all of us to gather together, we'll try to do that.
3 out of these call people can just walk up to Vivek's house. So, Vivek's office rather.
Yeah, they're blessed souls.
People are telling, right? It's art of living with the coronavirus. We need to learn that.
Yeah, to figure out a way to make it work so that we're all safe and also in the same place. So any other questions apart from when is the next class?
Yeah, also only regarding like all the meditation practices that you've done, like even in the previous sessions. So for me, after 2 weeks I tend to forget like whatever we've practiced. So today, after this session, by now I would have forgotten the previous, like we did the Kriya Yoga once.
Yeah.
So can we have a class where we have a recap of all the practice, like the meditation practices that we've done, and so that we can, like for each one, we can figure out what best suits us. Like.
Sure. So we can do that, and you figure out which one suits you, and just focus on that. Don't worry about the others. So I am just giving many meditations because not everything will apply to all of you. Some will tune to this, some will tune to that. But the end goal for everything is the same. But just choose and just hold on to what works for you. When I say works, what brings you peace. That's it. So yes, I'll in the next session we'll revise some of only the important practices. Some are very beginning level practices to quieten the mind, but we'll focus more on quiet practices that take us directly to the self. Okay, shall we close?
Yes. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thank
Hari
you,
Om.
everyone. Hari Om.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
everyone.
guys. Bye, everyone.